A long narrative on the rematch, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. As UFC 320 approaches, one major narrative continues to resonate among fans and analysts. Alex Pereira did not take his first fight against Magomed Ankalaev seriously. This perception stems from the fact that in the lead-up to that bout, Pereira was often seen traveling across the globe, attending public events, meeting fans, and showing up at other martial arts shows. Such a packed schedule created the impression that he never underwent a proper training camp. The result was evident inside the octagon. Pereira looked flat, less aggressive, and failed to deliver the kind of performance usually associated with his name. In the end, he lost to Ankalaev, a tough Dagestani fighter known for his resilience. This narrative gained even more weight when several coaches and analysts voiced the same opinion. Pereira entered that fight without optimal preparation. The first fight was competitive, but surprising. The first fight between Pereira and Ankalaev was competitive. Pereira certainly put up resistance. However, what shocked many was how Ankalaev, a fighter known throughout his career as solid but rarely spectacular, managed to make Pereira look powerless. There wasn't a single dramatic moment that shifted the tide. Instead, the bout was defined by point exchanges, primarily from long-range strikes. Pereira seemed to lose his signature touch, his aggressiveness, his willingness to take risks, and his ability to intimidate opponents with devastating low kicks and knockout power. From there emerged the impression that Pereira was flat and unprepared, both mentally and physically. Coaches' statements and public consensus. This perception didn't arise out of thin air. Head coach Merab Dvalishvili, in an interview, stressed that Pereira had hardly trained seriously for that fight. He even questioned how a world champion could enter such a crucial bout with such minimal preparation. Renowned MMA coach John Wood echoed this sentiment. He admitted that he frequently saw Pereira attending events when he should have been in the middle of an intense training camp. He said, "I saw him everywhere. In Australia, in the United States, even at karate combat. It looked like he was more focused on traveling than training." In his view, such circumstances made it impossible for Pereira to build a truly solid camp. These opinions reinforce the consensus among fans and analysts alike. Pereira did not fully focus on his first clash with Ankalaev. Comparing preparation then and now. This time, however, things appear different heading into UFC 320. Based on his recent activity on social media, Pereira looks far more focused and disciplined. For the past 2 months, he stayed in his training base in Connecticut, working consistently with former UFC champion Glover Teixeira and longtime sparring partners such as Yusri Belgaroui. No international trips, no excessive fan meet and greets, no appearances at other martial arts shows. His schedule is now fully centered on training, recovery, and sharpening strategy. This marks a clear contrast from how he prepared before the first fight. This stability matters. At his training base, Pereira can control his diet, select proper sparring partners, and maintain a steady rhythm of rest. Traveling, on the other hand, makes these elements much harder to manage. Jet lag, fatigue, and limited training facilities abroad are hardly ideal conditions for a world champion preparing for a fight of UFC 320's magnitude. Ankalaev, focused and undistracted. On the other hand, Magomed Ankalaev also comes into this rematch with improved preparation. During the first fight, he went through part of his training camp during Ramadan, which may have limited his intensity and recovery. This time, he's trained without these restrictions and reportedly worked alongside elite fighters like Sean Strickland and Alexander Volkov. This suggests he may enter the octagon in even better shape than before. Technical analysis of the first fight. To better understand the rematch, let's revisit the first encounter, particularly the opening 2 rounds. In the first round, Pereira actually performed well. He landed around 10 clean calf kicks on Ankalaev, his signature weapon. This was the typical Pereira blueprint. Begin with low kicks, then gradually open space for his jab, right cross, and lethal left hook. However, the second round told a different story. Ankalaev began pressing forward, forcing Pereira back and dictating the fight with simple but effective 1-2 combinations. He even rocked Pereira late in the round. This shift showed that Ankalaev could adapt, neutralize the low kicks, and seize control of the fight. So the question arises, was Pereira's defeat purely the result of poor preparation, or is Ankalaev's fighting style simply a major obstacle, a kryptonite for him? How the rematch could play out. This rematch serves as a pivotal test. If Pereira comes in with full preparation, focus, and his trademark aggressiveness, the chance of victory via knockout remains wide open. Pereira's power is unquestionable. If he lands green, a fight can end instantly. On the other hand, Ankalaev has already proven his strategic discipline, tight defense, and ability to maintain safe distance while capitalizing on his hand speed. If he can once again pressure Pereira, pin him against the fence, and control the tempo, it's not hard to imagine a repeat outcome. In short, the main narrative of this rematch is, will Pereira prove that his previous defeat was solely due to poor preparation, or is Ankalaev truly the stylistic kryptonite he cannot overcome? Let's discuss in the comments.